Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 of What's Your Point, the podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Campbell, and if you stuck around long enough, welcome back. Glad to have you. If you haven't seen the first episode, go check it out. First episode we did was about abortion. So today we're going to be talking about the border crisis down here in Texas. We're going to be talking about immigration as a whole. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on it. And so, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this topic. Very excited to be covering it for y'all. I live in Dallas, Texas. I don't live close to the border, but I've definitely seen what's going on right now. And because I live here, it is going to affect me. So we're going to deep dive into the border crisis, how Biden's handling it, what's going on down there, and how these people are really being treated. So Texas is the closest state to Mexico. That is the border where everybody tends to go over and come into our country. Can you believe that? It's one of the easiest passageways to get through right now. Trump was working on a wall. The liberals didn't like that. Biden did everything he could to stop it. And now, this responsibility has fallen onto Biden. It is solely his responsibility. And what is he doing? He's not doing anything. This guy has been seen going on vacation, I swear to God, like every single weekend. He refuses to answer questions from the press, and I feel like the press is honestly catching on at this point because they're starting to ask legitimate questions that Biden can't answer, that Jen Psaki can't answer, and that Kamala Harris won't even answer. He's not doing a single thing to take responsibility for the thousands of people that are at the border right now, stuck under bridges, sleeping there. It is an inhumane situation. It is absolutely ridiculous. And so recently what's been in the news is there are thousands of Haiti refugees crammed under an overpass in Del Rio, Texas, which is down at the border. There was at first maybe 4,000 to 8,000 and then 14,000, and they just continued to come. Now, there have been some claims saying that Biden has started flying and deporting these people out, but the article that I've been reading states that some of them have been let into the country due to the fact that they are finishing the immigration process and will be American citizens. These people down here are piling up, they don't have food, they don't have showers, and Governor Greg Abbott called for the state troopers and the National Guard to bring their vehicles to form their own mile-long border wall against these people. And Biden has not done a single thing about it. These people are piling up under the bridges. We can't just open the borders and let them through. Who in their right mind would think that was okay? Yet, when asked about it, Biden, Kamala, Jen Psaki, all of them are just completely ignoring the situation, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And if you guys weren't aware, at the beginning of the presidency, Joe Biden put Kamala Harris in charge of immigration as a whole, especially the border crisis, and now she is completely disregarding the fact that there are 14,000 people knocking on the door of the United States of America, and instead is spending her time either campaigning for Governor Newsom in California or running around at football games flipping coins and wasting time. Joe Biden, on the other hand, has this weird obsession with getting everybody in the United States vaccinated, but is contradicting himself by not addressing the border crisis issue because, let's think about it, a bunch of people are piled up on the border. Are they vaccinated? Are they getting tested? Do they have COVID? Are they going to bring COVID into the United States? Why is he blatantly ignoring this issue when it plays hand in hand on this false narrative that he's trying to push that COVID is rapidly spreading throughout the United States of America? If COVID was such a drastic issue in America right now, we would have closed the borders a long time ago. We would not be flying people in. We would not be having them piling up at the border. We would be worrying about their safety. And if COVID was actually a real issue, then I feel like as the President of the United States, he would be taking it way more seriously. Because the logic does not add up. The logic does not make sense that we are allowing unvaccinated and untested people to come into the country and just move around, and we're not even having them at least get tested to see if they are carrying this so-called deadly virus. And the hypocrisy I'm seeing from the Democratic Party right now is unfathomable. They were bitching and complaining about how bad the borders needed to be closed and that Trump wasn't doing it fast enough. They sat here and actually had the nerve to blame him for the thousands of Americans that were dying. But they are completely silent when Biden is sitting here allowing thousands of people to come into the country untested. Now let's talk about the reason that these people are leaving their countries in the first place. These people from Haiti are fleeing their country. They've brought their kids, they've brought their possessions, they've brought everything left from their home and are fleeing their country to escape and run across over to America to seek something better. And with that being said, I first want to talk about the fact that within the immigration argument, it is very clear that a lot of refugees escape their countries, want to leave, desperately want to escape, to not be there anymore due to the conditions that their countries are in, because they are run by communists and socialists who have completely destroyed the economy there. If you look at these places like Venezuela, Cuba, and all of these third world countries where these people are starving, they do not have any functional economic stability to keep the country up and running. The left as a whole continues to push this false narrative that America is the worst country ever, yet I bet the majority of them have never been to a third world country to actually understand what goes on a day-to-day basis there. Take the Afghanistan refugees as a perfect example. You had these people hanging onto planes as we were taking off, leaving their country. These people were desperately running after these jets and hanging on for dear life because they did not want to be overruled by the Taliban. Then I go to check Twitter and I see all of these liberals complaining about how they would rather personally be under the Taliban than living in our country under a semi-flawed democracy. If America's so bad, why are thousands of refugees running here every single day? Please explain that to me. How can you tell me that thousands of refugees want to come to America, yet America's the worst country in the whole entire world and you hate it so much, yet you want it to turn into one of these third world countries where nobody will have food, water, money, jobs, or anything? All of these Haiti refugees are just packing up, leaving their country, heading on over to Texas at the border, sleeping under bridges, and Biden will not handle it at all whatsoever. But ironically, as the border crisis has been raging, Biden has also announced that he's going to increase the number of refugees that we bring into the country. This article that I'm reading from the Daily Wire states that the State Department said in a press release that their goal for the refugee admissions is 62,000 in 2021 and 125,000 in 2022. But remember, this is the same administration that told the Cuban immigrants running from their country to turn around because if they came into the country, they would not be welcome. Do you want to know why he's turning the Cuban immigrants away? Do you want to know why he's completely ignoring the situation with the Haiti immigrants? Because these people will come into the country and they will vote red, and that is what the Biden administration does not want. These people's economies have been destroyed by the same people running our country, and they know that. And they know that if they let these poor people in, that they are going to vote red and destabilize this evil plan that the Biden administration has. Biden does not want these immigrants coming into the country voting red because guess what? It'll vote them out. He likes to let immigrants in that are going to vote blue. He likes letting people into the country that are going to continue to destroy America and America's integrity. And the perfect example of this would be the people in Afghanistan. How many immigrants have we flown in the past month from Afghanistan? So many. Have we personally vetted them, checked them through security, figured out who these people are, what their goal is for coming into the country? Have we checked to see if any of them are even part of the Taliban or ISIS-K, for crying out loud? And Joe Biden and his administration continue to let this stuff happen because they want to secure their vote in the elections, and frankly, it's a complete insult on our election integrity as the United States of America. And he's either this maniacal genius sitting in his chair planning on what he's going to do next, or he's being completely controlled by all of these other people, aka Kamala Harris, aka Jen Psaki. I mean, we could get into the deep state if we want to, but we're not going to do that today. He's this poor old man. I'm not going to say poor. He's just at the age where he's just mentally disabled and does not know what he's doing, to a point where all this man talks about is either ice cream or smelling little kids. And frankly, that is not who I voted for, clearly. And I'm sure that is not who the majority of the country voted for. It has almost been a year at this point, and guess what? America has gone down. The country is going to shit. pardon my French, but we're only a year in. What do you think's going to happen in the next 3 years? How much worse do you think it's going to get? Of course, the article that we're reading about right now states that the leftist activists have been pushing President Joe Biden to increase the number of refugees in the United States. Why don't we do this? Why don't we shut the country down, clean up the mess that Biden and his administration has made, fix America, elect somebody back in, like Trump, who wasn't going to take shit from anybody, bring back in someone like Trump, who actually had control over the country, didn't care about your feelings, did not base his decisions on your emotional instability, but actually how the country is run and actually how the country would best function under a president of the United States. Because this president right now is not doing a good job. He's not sitting here thinking about what's best for the American people. He's slowly trying to bring this country down, and that has been proven. I don't need to prove that to you. That has been proven time and time again in the past year. So as he continues to say that he's going to increase the number of refugees, we're going to be seeing a lot of immigrants coming in, illegal immigrants coming in, voting blue, wanting all the states in the world to turn into California. California is a disgusting mess right now. I'm so sorry if you live there, but that's what they want. Essentially, they want to bring these immigrants in, vote blue, be homeless on the streets, take your jobs, do all this stuff, and destroy the country. Now, the job issue is a whole other problem when it comes to illegal immigrants, because people claim, they're coming in, they're taking our jobs. They are, and they'll do your job for way less money than they would give you if you were an educated college graduate. The problem that we need to face head on right now is the fact that there are thousands of jobs in America right now. We are not having a job shortage at all whatsoever. We're having a lazy people pandemic because after Biden offered millions of dollars to the American people to sit on their ass and just stay at home because of COVID, nobody wants to go out and get a job anymore. Nobody has the drive that they did a year ago or 5 years ago to go out and work for stuff because they just want money from the government. And so yes, these illegal immigrants will come in and do your jobs for you and get paid less. We need the American people to get up, get off their ass, go get a job, because there are many, many jobs available. And the majority of the liberals that I've known are completely unemployed and enjoyed. Oh, they had so much fun with the checks that they were receiving every month from stimulus and unemployment. I mean, go look on Twitter. We've seen the amount of people complaining about the unemployment benefits that are ending. It's ridiculous. It's not a matter of these people are taking our jobs. It's that America needs to grow the hell up, get a job, and support the country. And we need to work on the people inside America before we start letting all these other people into the country to try to fix our issues for us, because they're not going to fix them. They're going to make them worse. I don't even know how much worse it's going to get. I can't promise you anything. But right now, the last thing that we need to be doing is opening our borders, allowing these people to come in, destroy our cities. I can give you at least 5 cities right now that are absolutely disgusting because the majority of them vote blue. Look at the states that are run by blue governors. Disgusting. Cities, trashed. Dallas right now has gone so downhill. Look at Chicago. Look at St. Louis. Look at LA. It's ridiculous. The top 3 cities that have the highest crime rate are Detroit, Michigan, Memphis, Tennessee, and Birmingham, Alabama, and all are unironically run by Democratic mayors. Now, if I'm looking at a list of all 20 of the highest crime rates per city, those are all run by Democratic mayors. So I think it's fair to say that we can link the blue-leaning states towards higher crime rates. And that is backed up by the statistics that offer factual information that show that when illegal immigrants come into the country, it does absolutely nothing other than instill fear and harm into the American people. The perfect example for you would be the illegal immigrants in Arizona that are aged 18 to 35 that are 250% more likely to commit crimes than young U.S. citizens. And to further that, illegal immigrants are known to commit more serious crimes such as murder, robbery, and sexual assault. And guess what? Biden wants to bring these wonderful people to a city near you. The first phase of relocating these 37,000 Afghanistan refugees includes placing many of them into different red states across the United States. And I personally think that Biden is doing that so he can continue to destroy red states, first of all, and to try and solidify his votes in the next election. So, by allowing all of these immigrants in, so far we've learned that the crime rates are going to go up, the election integrity is going to be little to none. And as we've seen from the last election, I don't know if we're ever going to have a true and safe election ever again. And if you've been paying attention since the last election, mail-in ballots have become very, very, very popular. That is the new thing that the left wants to push because it is way easier to create a fraudulent election when you are not going out of your way to go vote in person. I really want to challenge all of you to pay very close attention in the 2022 elections and the 2024 elections. I also want to challenge you to watch the city's crime rates. Watch them go up. I will be watching in Texas. Like I said earlier, Dallas is going downhill very, very quickly, and it is only going to get worse from here. There is no better time than right now for the American people to wake up, get out of this brain fog, and stop trusting every single thing that the mainstream media tells you on a daily basis and actually realize and understand what is going on and who is trying to run our country. The left is provided with countless facts and statistics that back up what we say and what we try to tell them, and we warn them about so many things that have happened since Biden has been elected to this day, and they continue to not listen. I'm getting sick of it. I know you are too. So it's time to stand up and push back and fight for our country and fight against this weak, spineless government that we have. That's my point. What's yours?